AUKI Labs? Why this altcoin is flying way under the radar? What if I told you there's an altcoin out there with real AI applications, smart cities, and actual enterprise deals, yet almost no one knows about it? I'm talking about AUKI Labs. It solves a real and massive problem in the world of AI and robotics, and all that with a market cap of under $30 million. In this video, I'll show you why AUKI Labs is massively undervalued, and I'll explain exactly what Posemesh is all about. Also, how realistic is a tenfold increase or even more? And at the end, you'll get various price scenarios that you definitely don't want to miss, especially if you're looking for the next real use case altcoin. Welcome to 10x by Marius, your channel for honest, data-driven altcoin analyses. Have you ever wondered why AI in real life doesn't work the way it does in movies, for example? It's because machines can't perceive real space. And that's exactly what AUKI Labs is changing, an altcoin that almost no one has on their radar. AUKI Labs is building what is called a Posemesh. So, it sounds technical at first, but it's actually quite simple. Put simply, it's a decentralized nervous system for machines, AI, robotics, and smart glasses, for example, that can understand the real world. So imagine not just image recognition anymore, but real spatial perception for AI like GPS, only 3D in real time and everywhere. And this isn't just hype, it's already running in over 2,000 shops in Denmark, and AUKI has already been honored with the AUKI award for it. That's an important prize for spatial computing. And now it gets really exciting. The market capitalization is under $30 million. But the project is even part of the NVIDIA Inception program and is being tested in smart cities worldwide. Technically, the whole thing is based on the PDEC network. That means it's part of a growing DePIN movement, which essentially provides decentralized physical infrastructure. So for example, real-world assets with AI, not just in code. And even more exciting, tokens are actively burned as soon as companies use AUKI. What does that mean? More usage equals less supply. And of course, that means upward price pressure. So if you're looking for an altcoin that solves real problems with strong technology, real customers, and a low valuation, then you should know about AUKI Labs. Are you new to my channel? Then let me quickly explain how I analyze altcoins. I analyze them based on 20 key metrics. These are weighted differently, and I always give points from 0 to 10. At the end, I create a simple result in percent so you can see from 0 to 100% how strong the altcoin actually is. Then I also create various price scenarios which are calculated mathematically so you know roughly where the price journey is heading. So if you don't want to miss this in the future, subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell so you won't miss any more altcoins. Because I analyze 2 altcoins every weekend, including from the low cap sector, which you might not even have on your radar yet. But before we dive into the full analysis, grab yourself a coffee, leave a like for me, and if you want to support me, become a 10x supporter on YouTube. It only costs you a coffee a month, but it supports me massively. Thank you very much. But attention, a disclaimer, my channel is not financial advice, but purely for informational purposes. Now let's move on to the market capitalization. It's around $26 million, so under 30 million. It's a classic low cap, but with massive upside potential if adoption really takes off. You can see this altcoin still has real room to grow. This is an altcoin with a real use case, smart cities, but it's still in its early stages. That's why it gets a strong 9 out of 10 here. Next up is the circulating supply. Currently, 24.5% of the tokens are in circulation. That's quite critical, because 75% of the tokens can still enter the market. But AUKI uses daily linear vesting periods, so there won't be any extremely large unlocks that could shock the price. Still, there's a risk here. By the way, if you want to buy AUKI, it's already available on my favorite exchange. The link is, as always, in the pinned comment, and if you sign up, you'll even get a bonus. In this area, definitely a 4. Next point, the roadmap. The roadmap is concrete and measurable. From beta nodes to retail integration to token burns, AUKI is delivering real-world usage step by step in over 2,000 shops, plus appearances on stage at NVIDIA and Microsoft make it extremely strong. 8. So how strong is the team? The CEO is Niels Phil. He's public, experienced, and a visionary. The team is visibly committed, bringing backgrounds in XR, AI, and also Web3. You are in a solid position here. 7. Then what about the narrative? AI meets reality, i.e. decentralized perception for machines. That's the idea behind Posemesh. AUKI doesn't tell a castle in the air story, but rather positions itself as a bridge between AI and the real world. Here, a strong 0. So what problem does AUKI actually solve? Well, the problem is machines can't see. They don't, let's say, have a shared perception of space. That is, of course, a problem. But the solution, AUKI's Posemesh. It's a decentralized perception network for AI, XR, and also robotics. A strong 9 here. Then what about sustainability and energy efficiency? AUKI uses peaks efficient DePIN ecosystem, so no energy-hungry mining, but rather compute via nodes. This isn't green rushing, but it's also not an unnecessary burden. Here you have a solid 6 points. Next, how strong are the investors? What kind of investors do they have? How much capital is there? Part of Nvidia's inception, already generating 7-figure annual revenue through real use cases. Additionally, transparent financing, strategic investments, so no VC looking for a quick exit here. A strong 7. Next, who is the competition? There is competition. For example, Render. Helium, Fetch.ai, but no one is as clearly focused on spatial AI as AUKI. And by the way, if you want to see other comparisons or analyses, then subscribe to my channel now, because next weekend I have 2 more exciting ones coming up, and check out the playlist, the Xenix Universe. All the videos I've made are in there. You can find information in the video description. Here's stake 8. Then, what about marketing? They have a strong community via Discord, X, AMA sessions, they have an ambassador program, events, they have a real community focus. So when it comes to marketing, they are in a strong position. 7. Then, how simple is the idea actually? Posemesh might sound complex at first, but the basic principle is actually simple. AI finally gets eyes in the real world. Did I actually explain it simply to you at the beginning? Write it in the comments. Here, a solid 6. Next point, what about the vision? The goal? A nervous system for machines all over the world. For 100 billion people, devices, and AIs. That's obviously thinking big, and it's not unrealistic. It's actually achievable, and they have an extreme vision. 9. Next point, are they deflationary? What about the supply cap? The supply is 100 billion AUKI. It's not an inflationary system, and a burn mechanism ensures constant scarcity as it's used. A strong 8. Then, the fully diluted market capitalization is about 4 times the current market cap. So that's below the critical 10 times threshold, which means they're currently well positioned here, and it's not massively overvalued at the moment. That's why it's also a strong 8 here. Next, what about the volume? The liquidity of an altcoin is of course quite important. Here the volume has a ratio of about 0.027, so that's above my minimum value. That means it's being actively traded without the coin being, let's say, extremely liquid. That's why it's a solid 7 in this area. Next, how was the initial token distribution, and were there any lockup periods? They had a fair distribution at the beginning. As mentioned at the beginning, they have daily lockup periods that are always locked and then unlocked. They had a pre-sale, they had airdrops, and they have community missions. What's important? Everything is transparent. 8. What about the top coin holders? How is the distribution? Here they don't have, let's say, any known wall pattern. So they have over 41,000 owners. It's community run. But there is no extreme choice now. That's solid in that area. 7. Then what is the benefit of the AUKI token? The tokens are burned as soon as projects build on AUKI. Also node rewards, mission rewards, and domain registration. So you can see that the token has a good utility, which is important. 8. Community. How actively organized and engaged is it? Not just likes and retweets, but real participation in nodes, beta tests, and burn missions. By the way, are you also an AUKI holder or a fan of the project? Then write #AUKI in the comments. Definitely a strong 8 here. What events are coming up this year or at the beginning of 2026? Extremely important. On the one hand, node rewards, new enterprise deals, new listings, devlips for AI on smart glasses, which is also quite exciting, and appearances at international tech conferences. So in that regard, they are very active, they are strongly positioned, and that's why it's another 8 here. You know what really makes me angry? When projects with a real use case, real technology, real impact are simply overlooked by the general public. Because AUKI Labs is exactly such a case. Today we ran the altcoin through my 20 metrics together, and the result was clear but surprising. With 83.5%, they're not just good, they're actually in the top 10 of my Zenix ranking list. I'll display the Zenix ranking list here for you. Let's briefly go over the most important points again. First, attractive valuation. Under 30 million market cap. Extremely strong for real use cases. The tokenomics are very good. They have burnings, a fair vesting plan, real utility, then clear technological advantage. Nervous system for AI, for robotics, and honestly, who is supposed to compete with AUKI? There is no competition in this field. No other project combines spatial AI with DePIN and smart cities at this level. My assessment now, AUKI Labs is a smart speculative play with real potential. It's not a hype coin, but a fundamental bet on AI with real substance. I'm definitely keeping an eye on it, and you should too. By the way, if you want full access to the Zenix ranking list, where I have all the altcoins I've ever analyzed, if you want to know which coins I personally hold, and if you want to be part of the smartest crypto community, then become a 10x Elite member now. Here you'll get insight into my portfolio. You'll get access to an exclusive learning platform that shows you how to apply the 10x formula. But you'll also get indicators. I've linked a video for you up here where everything is explained. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you, and let's 10x. You know what I love? When an altcoin not only delivers on tech, but also has a story and fantasy. Lips has exactly that. And now comes the part you love, because what kind of price potential does AUKI have? As always, I'll give you 4 price scenarios here, from bear market to moon landing and the 2030 vision. Let's start again with the bear scenario. Imagine the market crashes, the AI hype cools off, adoption is slower than expected, and AUKI only grows modestly. In that case, we could see prices from $0.05 to $0.01. Let's move on to the normal scenario. The overall market grows steadily, AI and smart cities remain trending, and AUKI establishes itself as an infrastructure player. Then we're talking about prices around 0.13. That's already a significant increase. So what does the optimistic scenario look like? AUKI becomes the standard for spatial AI. Retail, logistics cities, everyone relies on Posemesh. Token burns pick up speed, supply decreases, and demand rises. In that case, price targets of 0.65 to 1.30 would be possible. That would be a significant increase. Now we come to the very optimistic scenario, because now things get wild. DePIN is booming. AI is in every pair of glasses, in every device. AUKI provides the infrastructure for the next phase of digitalization. Governments, corporations, metropolises, everyone is in. So what is the vision for 2030? The digital world needs a nervous system for the physical space, and AUKI Labs is one of the few altcoins that can actually deliver this, with real partners and real usage. If this vision comes true, we won't be talking about cents anymore. AUKI will become one of the central players in the DePIN sector. If AUKI reaches even just 0.5% of the entire crypto market by 2030, we're already talking about prices over $15, maybe even 20, maybe 25, a massive increase. That's what my chart analysis is showing now. Alright, let's get to my chart analysis of AUKI. First of all, just like at the beginning, a quick note. I'm not a trader, not a day trader. I always take a long-term view. In any case, for my chart analysis here, I use TradingView with a specific indicator. What matters to me is ultimately the money flow and whether we're in the overbought or oversold zone. For me, these are the zones where I look for entry or exit points. So just to show you an example, here we were in an absolutely oversold area, and a green dot was formed here as well. As I said, that's the indicator from TradingView, and that would be an entry zone for me personally. And up here, for example, here we would have been in a massively overbought area. And for me, this would slowly be one of the points where I would exit or simply take profits. And yes, this is the indicator I rely on. And now let's take a look at the current situation with AUKI. As you can see here, the price has already dropped significantly. We were in an area here where I would say I definitely already saw a buying zone. At the moment, we're moving more towards the middle range again. That means right now I would actually just observe, even though a green dot has formed here. That's definitely a good sign already. It could indicate that we might push a bit further up for now. But as I said, since I think long term, I always look for points and zones down here or up here. And at the moment for me, it's more of a waiting position. By the way, if you're interested in current market updates, or let's say where I see entry and exit points, then take a look at the Elite there. I also have that there where I really, yes, weekly, but also regularly, for example, when there's any new market information or any moves, I share my analysis, my chart analysis, and how I would proceed at the moment. And if you're also interested in an exchange that, for example, offers that as well, then I recommend Bitunix to you. I use it myself, they're extremely strong, have a simple interface and low fees. I've linked all the information for you in the pinned comment. You just have to expand it and then you'll see it. You'll also get a bonus if you sign up using my link. By the way, if you're interested in AI altcoins, I'll link Render for you here now. Why Render is so exciting, it's best if you see for yourself. Enjoy the video and I'll see you in a moment.